is how he has progressed through to the quarterfinal stage. So, Kabeji, PITA. Just acknowledging all sides of the arena here. Aliaksei ALFIORAU needs no introduction if you're an aficionado of IBA 3-round boxing. The tournament #2 seed, 25 years of age, World Championship silver medalist after being edged out by Robbie Gonzalez in Belgrade in Serbia in one of the best contests you could ever wish to see. I was ringside to commentate on that tournament with my colleague Andy Clark, who's over on Ring A. 2024 silver medalist at the European Championships last year. Here, Aliaksei ALFIORAU seeking a return to the World Championship stage. He beat Parviz Karimov of Tajikistan at the round of 16 with an absolutely awesome display where he targeted the body for a round and a half. The man from Tajikistan adopted the half cover guard and then he was picked off on his open chin. So we're underway here. Two decorated IBA boxers facing off for a place in the final four of the men's 86 kilogram cruiserweight division. The man wearing red, operating out of the orthodox stance, is Kabeji PITA, one of a 4-man DR Congo boxing team, the Democratic Republic of Congo, 25 years of age. And his opponent, operating out of the southpaw stance, although he is an adept switch hitter, is Aliaksei ALFIORAU. He also 25, part of a 5-man Belarusian boxing team. Completely contrasting approaches to the craft, showcased by these two boxers. Left hook not too far away from PITA, but ALFIORAU is incredibly relaxed. But see that left hand to the body, that's a shot that served him really well in his round of 16 win. That bolo shot right there, he continued to sling it in for about 4.5 minutes straight, and eventually Parviz Karimov, his hands came down, he adopted the cross-arm guard. Never stopped coming, Karimov. But then when the chin was open, he was able to use the same rapidity of hands. ALFIORAU to score upon the chin. Shot over the top from PITA. Really active start to the round and then hitting from behind, and is PITA. ALFIORAU doesn't take too kindly to that, but as the referee is pointing out, he shouldn't have turned his back, ALFIORAU. So both men will be looking to keep their emotions in check. And again, so experienced on the international stage, both of these boxers. PITA competing in his 3rd appearance at the World Championships, having fought in 2019 and 2023, and he's been docked a point for failing to keep his head up, so that has put an entirely different complexion on proceedings now, and one wonders what change in approach it will bring from both boxers, because ALFIORAU and his team will know that the score, which will be tallied at the end in the event that we go to the scorecards, will be subject to -1. Right jab cracked into the face from ALFIORAU. Right crossed in response from PITA. But PITA docked a point for failing to keep his head up. So he knows he's got to get busy here now. And he did exactly that in the round of 16 affair, as the left hand to the body is slung in once again from ALFIORAU. PITA, to his credit, trying to pick up the tempo and quicken those feet. ALFIORAU spoken to about holding, and seeing as PITA has been docked a point for failing to keep his head up, if the communication continues in the direction of ALFIORAU about excessive holding, he could well find himself docked a point. Some of the action from the opening round. Both men targeting the body, but there's an example of the wonderful southpaw left that ALFIORAU is able to whip in on a regular basis. So a clean sweep of the cards for Aliaksei ALFIORAU.
Seconds out.
10-9 verdicts returned for all 5 scoring judges.
Round 2.
So we move into the second round. And when he conceded the opening round yesterday, Kabeji PITA produced a storming performance in round number 2 to take it unanimously. Can he summon up a similar type of effort here? Lands a right cross, but then it's ALFIORAU with a cluster of punches to perhaps get the better of that exchange. Check right hand landed by ALFIORAU. Hard charging forward foray from PITA. So keen to re-enter the fray is PITA. But he just has to be held back by the referee. Spinning out of the line, spinning out of the corner, off the line is ALFIORAU. Remains so composed. There's a cracking right cross landed by PITA, and it lifted up a leg from ALFIORAU. So he's felt the vaunted power of the reigning All Africa Games champion. Possesses a sturdy chin, but he won't want to take too many of those, ALFIORAU. And near his court once again, and it brings about a standing count. Terrific response from Kabeji, from PITA. Once again. So Kabeji PITA, having conceded the first round across the board, having been Dr. Point for failing to keep his head up, has produced a response so typical of him and epitomizing his competitive spirit, going after ALFIORAU and landing repeatedly with these right hands. ALFIORAU possesses terrific reflexes, but the rapier-like right of PITA is catching him repeatedly. Another right hand, this time from underneath from PITA, just causes ALFIORAU to lose his balance. Trying to maintain a gap now is ALFIORAU, but a look at that for a roundhouse right from PITA. And another solid right from mid-range landed by PITA, who is finding a home for that punch on a regular basis. Nice head movement in the pocket from PITA to make his man miss. And a cracking right cross rocks ALFIORAU down to his boots. He employed a headlock, gets back across the ring to give himself a little bit of breathing room, but PITA's right hand is locked in and landing repeatedly. ALFIORAU, what can he do to avoid this incoming right hand that is landed with such regularity for Kabeji PITA during the course of this contest? Looking for the right hand once again, going for the southpaw left was ALFIORAU. A terrific response once again from Kabeji PITA, giving his man an 8 count and scoring repeatedly with his vaunted backhand. Now remember, an 8 count won't necessarily result in a 10-8 round, but I think that was the punctuation point and what was a really good response from Kabeji PITA, and surely it's enough to give him the round, which is exactly how he responded in his round of 16 bout. Cracking punch picking with that backhand. And it's a 4-1 split in favor of Kabeji PITA, including a 10-8 round returned by judge number 4. So really interesting scorecards going into the third and final round. But remember, there is that point deduction to be considered after Kabeji was penalized. After Kabeji was penalized in the first for failing to keep his head up. So we move into the final round of a bout that is intriguingly poised in this 86 kilogram quarter-final. Aliaksei ALFIORAU took the first round unanimously. A point was docked from Kabeji PITA for failing to keep his head up. He fought with real urgency and indeed accuracy in the second round, giving his man a standing count with a sharp shooting overhand right. And so we have scorecards that are tied at 19 points apiece for 3 of the 5 judges. ALFIORAU, a little bit of a love tap from Kabeji PITA. ALFIORAU leading for 1 judge and Kabeji PITA leading for 1 judge. But remember, there is that point deduction that will be considered at the end. So again, the easiest way is to produce a massive final round, but it's ALFIORAU just seeking to push Kabeji PITA back towards the ropes. Continuing, oh, that's a wonderful left hook to the body, slung in by ALFIORAU. Both men really sinking their feet into the canvas. Now, is there a problem with ALFIORAU? He's been sent, or Peter's been sent to the furthest neutral corner. Knuckles bumped together by our referee because this injury has been caused by an accidental clash of heads. Now, if this injury causes the bout to be stopped, the portion of the third round that has been contested will be scored. On the resumption, both men hooking hard with the left hand. Kabeji to the head, ALFIORAU to the body. Is there an increased sense of urgency in the work of ALFIORAU now as he went for a counter left hook out of the southpaw stance after Kabeji was just inaccurate with his overhand right. Heads coming together on the inside. Good right hand to the body and it doubled over ALFIORAU, and then he responded with a left cross which just backed up Kabeji PITA. Hard hitting exchanges in the space of center ring. Both men have sustained injuries during the course of this contest. Remember, 3 tied scores of 19 points apiece. Sharp shooting left cross from ALFIORAU. Left hook counter in response from Kabeji PITA. An affair of high skill, this one, between boxers with completely contrasting styles. Wonderful counter left hand after making his man miss from Aliaksei ALFIORAU. While the cut is being inspected once again, I'm keeping a close eye on the referee, and she said it's a fist into an open palm. A fist into an open palm means that this injury has been either inflicted or an existing one exacerbated by a punch. And if this causes the contest to be stopped, it will be RSCI, referee stops contest injury in favor of Kabeji PITA. So ALFIORAU won't want that fate to befall him. Good right cross landed again from Kabeji PITA. Each man have landed eye-catching backhands in the final minute of this third and final round. Terrific contest between 2 skillful operators. Kabeji PITA thinks that he's done enough, but remember, we do have to consider that a point will be deducted from the tally of the 2-time African Continental Champion Kabeji PITA because he was docked a point for for failing to keep his head up in the first round. So, nervous moments for the boxers here now. Both men enjoyed success in that final round and each are confident that they have done enough, but there is that point deduction to consider, and I think that makes it advantage ALFIORAU.
Ladies and gentlemen, on ring B, your winner by unanimous decision. In the blue corner from Belarus, Aliaksei ALFIORAU.
So, Aliaksei ALFIORAU, a unanimous points decision victor over the reigning All-Africa Games gold medalist. Kabeji PITA playing his part in what was a terrific affair of high skill between boxers with completely different approaches to the noble arts. But the point deduction, absolutely crucial in determining the outcome of this contest. Really unfortunate that that was such a significant factor because the two men combined to produce a cracking contest where ALFIORAU took the first on a 4-1 split. Coming storming back and giving his man a count in the second was Kabeji PITA. And then when the final scores were tallied, it is the man in blue who is going through to the medal stages. Kabeji PITA, World Championship quarter-finalist and $10,000 better off.